Savior's name is not Yeshua.
Except a man be born of the water and the spirit. Nicodemus, we can't enter into the kingdom. So it's important to teach about the name, but we have to understand that on one continent, they're going to say Yeshua. On another continent or part of the world or culture, they're going to say Yahusha. On another part, they're going to say Yahushai or Yashvai, right? Because the V, the W, and the U truly are interchangeable, and that's going to open the matrix for you. Now, side note, what I wanted to share is that when we start to get into Torah, we get pounded with that truth. We want to share the truth. We want to tell the world about what we've learned. But then we learn after being in Torah for a couple years, and then we learn more and more and more, and then we learn that we know nothing. And it's even to the point where I don't even want to teach. I'm not 30 yet. But I hear so much misinformation that teaching is quintessential in order to stop the misinformation. Now, we all go through this process of say Yeshua or Yahusha or say Jesus is Lord. You better keep the Sabbath. How dare you? And this crazy Torah spirit goes around all the time. And this is why I could never truly be a part of many Torah groups. I was just kind of on the sideline, is because you would notice that people in Torah weren't even keeping Torah. And they had become the modern day Pharisees of what Yashvai or Yeshua or Yahusha, of what the Messiah was trying to teach us about and prevent. There's a line that basically says that they speak with their mouths, but their tongue is basically a viper or a snake. And so everything that people say in English is a spell they don't recognize, because sometimes self-righteousness makes us uncognitive, where we're not able to recognize. And so the English spell is so thick that when we think we get out of the English spell, that's when our pride hits us and we fall back into this pharisaical, right, so to speak, mindset. And we tell people, oh, well, you have to do this or you have to do that in order to get into the kingdom. But we take away from the message. Well, except a man be born of the water and the spirit, born again of his mother's womb, how else could he enter into the kingdom, right? And all that opened the womb or the matrix are mine, Exodus 34:19. So most people, we don't understand that that's even a health message from the very beginning, right? I will heal you, Jeremiah 33:6. Open the womb, all disease starts in the gut. Now, we're not ready to learn about the true temple and what the true temple is, because we are the church. We haven't learned how to salt our speech yet, right? We just started to salt our offerings, and that's good. But now we're going to start to experience a physical, spiritual, biophysiological change that takes years and years and years. It's not just about doing this for a couple years. It's about what are you going to see and experience after 5 or 7 years of doing the correct, proper instruction every day. The outcome is you're going to see layers peeled back like an onion. You're going to start to see things not only about yourself, but about the world. And we haven't been able to see these things because that's why we're supposed to wait until age 30, like the priesthood states, before they would go out and actually start to teach the people, because it really is a scribal process where we're taking the scribble, the words of English. We're learning that the alphabet comes from the aleph bait, right? Until aleph bait gimel dalet hey vav zayin het tet yod kaf lamed mem nun samek, right? So until we learn all 22 letters, it's very difficult. And this is coming from somebody who's almost 30, and other people as well. Until I could teach the aleph bait, but I don't even know the multi-layered matrix-like meanings found inside of the alphabet or the aleph bait, where we get our alphabet from, right? Until we can summarize the aleph tav, which is the first and the 22nd letter, the first and the last letter of our aleph tav or alphabet. That's where we get alpha and omega from, right? So I'm not trying to talk too much at one time or give you too much information. It might sound a little crazy, but the point is there's so much that we don't know that we just learned 6 months ago. And when I started to teach this 6 months ago to the brother Yochanan, because is that his name? It could be. Is it Yeshua? Yahusha? Yashvai? Is it Jacob or Israel? I forgot. So when I started to teach this 6 months ago, I didn't think that it would necessarily be taken to the level that it's been taken to. But what I see in every Torah community is that Torah and people who go into this with a crazy mindset where they forget about love, ahava, yahava, right? The V is important. It means love. If we forget about this, Torah is absolutely pointless. It takes years to be able to even summarize the true application of Torah and how it really can change our lives, not just spiritually. Again, Nicodemus, except we be born of the water and the spirit, how can we enter into the kingdom? So this is my message, and I've spoken with triple OGs, you know what I'm saying, about the same message, and they've had to get out of Torah community because people become rather cray-cray in certain English terms. And so that's why it's so important. I don't mean to ramble on, but if you are in this movement, I would probably tell you just to not be so close. Give your time to the young child, not the old king who refuses knowledge or truth. Right? You give your time to the child, whether he be in that Torah community or outside of the Torah community, and you treat everyone like a brother. You might be hanging out with sinners a little bit more than before, but for a time in a season, maybe a couple years, you had to stop hanging out with people or just sinners completely. Probably people in general. Right? So now you have the new mindset. You've gone through more of a refiner's fire process to where you can walk through the fire now that you're 30. Right? You can see all these things for the way that they are and judge correctly. Right? Judge not, lest we become judged. It takes 30 years at least to get our temples and our houses in order. So that's my rant for the day. I hope it helped.